What do you think the meaning of life is? I don't know. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah, and oh wow, this feels like the first time in a while that we've just had a little sit-down chat on the bed here. I've just been doing so many vlogs and like out in the city type videos recently. This kind of feels like coming back to my roots a little bit. Anyway, for today's video, I am going to be answering some questions that you guys asked me on Instagram. I did say on Instagram that I would leave these questions anonymous, so I won't be putting up the, you know, little chat bubbles. I just thought that maybe I'd get some better questions that way. So I'm not sure if it made a difference or not, but that's what we're doing. Anyway, the first question is, where do you see yourself living in 5 years? Honestly, I could see myself still living here in New York. I don't currently have any plans to leave anytime soon. Ross and I are both very happy here. We love it. We love the opportunity that is presented here. I do think that if we were to move, it wouldn't just be for the sake of moving because we want to live somewhere else. It would be for a job opportunity, or if we wanted to be closer to family or something like that. Back when I was finishing up graduate school and we were deciding on what to do next, one of the big options that we had floating was moving to Washington, D.C. because it's very close to where Ross's family is from. They're from the suburbs in Virginia, and it's closer to my family than here, and it's also a city that has a lot of opportunity for us. The huge population of the suburbs in the area would be great as far as getting students for me, and they have a lot of theater and concerts and such as well for Ross to have work there. So I almost feel like if we were to move, it would maybe be DC, but we currently do not have plans to move, and I very much could see us still living in New York in 5 years. Best pizza or bagels you've had in NYC? Okay, so this is going up the Tuesday after I put up my Greenwich Village tour video. If you haven't watched that, please go watch it. I love it so much and I worked really hard on it. But I tell you in that video what my favorite pizza is. It is Bleecker Street Pizza in Greenwich Village. They have the best pizza in the whole city, and it is only $3.50 a slice for the Nona Maria, which is their like signature one. So good. What's the cost of the plain slice, the plain cheese slice?
It's like $2 or $2.50.
2 or 250? Yeah, so super cheap. Not quite dollar pizza, you know, a little more upscale. And it's so delicious. As far as bagels, I've gotta be honest with you, like I love bagels, but I'm not like a bagel enthusiast out trying to find the best bagel. More frequently than not, I actually just buy bagels at Trader Joe's and make bagels at home. So I don't really have a favorite bagel spot, but I can tell you that you're probably not gonna find a bad one, especially in Brooklyn. The bagels here are very good. This one's hilarious. Least favorite thing about Ross. I really had to take a minute to think about this one, but my least favorite thing about Ross is probably also one of my favorite things about Ross, and that's just his like go with the flow kinda I don't care what we do nature. Okay, I keep looking at him. I'm sorry. I love you. I love that about him, and somebody like me, a very type A, anxiety-ridden human, needs somebody like that. But also, I am like that, a very type A, anxiety-ridden person, and so when he's like, whatever, we can do whatever you want, like, it can be really frustrating if I'm not in the right mood for it. For real though, Ross is the best partner that anyone could ever have. I lucked out so much. He's just so thoughtful and caring and compassionate, and he listens well, and he cooks. I mean, I really lucked out, so I can deal with the indecisiveness. Do you regret anything you've done in your life? hard hitting? Yes, I do. I would love to be one of those no regrets type people, but I do regret a few things that I've done. I don't think that I regret anything that has really impacted the major trajectory of my life, but just small things. Like, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about that is, I'm not going to go into detail, but one time I was very angry with someone and I said a lot of really, really hurtful things, and I wish I'd never done that. Just, things like that. But as far as, major decisions like moving to New York or going to grad school or things like that, I don't regret any of that, no. With all of the instruments you've mastered, what was the most challenging to first learn to play? First of all, thank you. I don't know that I've mastered that many instruments. I do play several, but some of them definitely not on a master level. This is a really hard question for me to answer because I've been playing the clarinet since I was 10 years old. And I was singing and dabbling with piano before that even. So it's kind of hard to go back that far and be like, yeah, this one was the hardest. I've definitely worked the hardest at being good at the clarinet. That is my main instrument. That's what I have a master's degree in. That is what I've really spent the most time focusing on and have worked the hardest at. So in that regard, clarinet's definitely the hardest. But I would say that flute was pretty challenging for me because, actually, let me stop right there and just say clarinet's my primary instrument. I also play saxophone. I kind of play flute. I kind of play piano. I play the ukulele, and I used to sing a lot. I don't really sing anymore, but I used to. And going from clarinet to saxophone was a very easy transition. It felt very easy to learn saxophone, but flute was really hard for me because it's an entirely different embouchure, which is the way that you form your mouth on the mouthpiece, and that's entirely different from clarinet or saxophone. So that was very difficult to get used to for me. I guess I don't really have a firm answer for that though, so I'm sorry. I hope that was satisfying enough. What do you think the meaning of life is? I don't know. No, I really have no idea. I don't think any of us know what the meaning of life is. I guess I can answer kind of what I think my purpose in life is, which honestly is just to be happy and make an impact in some way and to appreciate and spend time with the people around me. I truly think that there's nothing more important than the people that are in your life, your friends, your family, your relationships should take precedence over about anything else. And I think that might surprise some people watching this because I am very career driven, but that's just not the most important thing. And maybe I would have answered this differently a year ago, but I think that the pandemic was really a big eye-opener for that, and we discovered so much of what else is important. I was totally out of work for a long time, and now I'm still pretty underemployed, working again, which I'm so grateful for. But in that time, when my whole career identity was sort of stripped away from me, and I was just taking a lot more time to just focus on the people in my life and doing things that kept me sane and made me happy. Yeah, that stuff's just really important. That stuff is really, really important. So I don't know if that answers what the meaning of life is, but maybe what the meaning of my life is. What is the best and worst thing about living in New York City? Love you. I love you too. I don't know if I can pick one best thing. I feel like I've said this before on YouTube, but just the overall vibe and energy of the city is really incredible, and it's something that's really hard to explain if you haven't experienced it yourself. There's just this whole unique feeling here, a very strong sense of community where everybody is just working so hard to achieve some kind of goal, And I think that a lot of people are very like-minded. It's really cool to just feel so connected to your community and the people around you. Least favorite thing is really easy, and that is the cost of living. It is really, really expensive. My rent is expensive. Food is more expensive. Like, everything is just a little bit more expensive. It's something you do get used to, and for the most part, pay is a little bit higher here. I don't know if it's higher enough here to totally make up for the astronomical cost of living, but it does make it easier to manage. It's also really far from my family too, which really sucks, but you know, making it work. This next one just says, "Show us the cat." All right, hold on. Here's the cat. If you're new here, her name is Rory. And she's a 4-year-old little angel that I've had since she was my foster kitten when she was only about 5 weeks old. She was too little to be away from her mama, but she made it. And now she is this beautiful cat that she is today. Okay, you can go. Thank you. If you want, there's cat hair on my mouth. There's still cat hair on my mouth. If you want to see more of Rory, I posted a video a while back. It was one of my earlier videos for sure. Since that was one of my earlier videos, I just keep getting cat hair on my lips. Since that was one of my earliest videos, it didn't get all that many views. It didn't get the love that I think it deserves because it's just such a cute video. She was so cute on that day, eating her little kitty cat birthday cake and playing with all of her birthday presents. So I'm gonna put a card to that here and link it in the description. Please go watch that if you haven't seen it and if you're interested in seeing more of Rory, because so cute. What's your favorite flavor of juice? You asked for juicy questions. You are right, I did ask for juicy questions and you really delivered. My favorite juice is white grape juice. I usually get the Target one because it's like $3 for a whole big thing, but the absolute best one is the Juicy Juice brand. So good. Ah, we got another best and worst question. This is interesting. What were the best and worst years of your life? Okay, so I'm gonna do ages because, I mean, honestly, like, I don't remember if 2011 was the worst year of my life or what, you know what I mean? So the worst year of my life, I believe, was 15. I'm not gonna get into it, but I had a really rough time the year that I was 15 years old. You know, I know that people say that a lot of the times you think your teenage years are just the worst and then you grow up and you realize that it's not a big deal. I do not think that is true at all. If there are any teenagers watching this, I think your feelings are very much valid. And, you know, sometimes it is just teenage stuff, but if that's what it is, that's all you know. That is your life at the time. But other times, it can be things that are more serious, even in the grand scheme of life, and things that can be pretty traumatic for you ongoing. So yeah, my 15th year was not a good time. I had to give a little more thought to the best year of my life because I feel like you can think of every year and pick out amazing things and terrible things for every single year. But I think I'm going to have to go with 21. 21 was a great year. I got to travel a lot when I was 21. And I felt like I was just really kind of coming into my own that year. Like, that was a year that I grew up a lot, I guess. I had the absolute best group of college friends. I had just, like, grown up a lot. And like I said, traveled a lot. I went to Colorado, I guess, right before I turned 21, so we'll just kind of lump it in. I went out of the country for the first time, rode an airplane for the first time. It was that year that I was a senior in college. So I was auditioning for graduate school music programs, so I got to travel around the country for those auditions, and I just really love to travel, so that was a great year. I'm gonna answer this one, even though a lot of you are not gonna know what I'm talking about, but this one was, what's your favorite memory with Dr. P? So Dr. P is Dr. Polyalonka. He was my undergraduate clarinet professor at Virginia Tech and my biggest mentor to this day. If he is for some reason watching this, hey, Dr. P, what's up? Oh. I was asked this question by somebody else who went to school with me. Have to say, my favorite memory with Dr. P overall was our studio trip to Trinidad that I mentioned earlier when I said the first time I went out of the country. That was that trip. It was my first time out of the country. It was my first time on an airplane, and that all happened thanks to Dr. P. He organized this whole trip and made it happen. And the final question that I am going to answer is, what would your perfect day look like? So I said a little while ago that the people in my life are the most important thing to me. So I think just hanging out with all my favorite people on like a secluded beach somewhere or something like that with no responsibilities, just hanging out and having a good time. That's probably my perfect day, honestly. I know that's really simple and not like the most groundbreaking answer, but that's probably it, honestly. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to everyone who submitted questions. If you want to be a part of videos like these, please go follow me on Instagram at TheRealHannahLee. That is where stuff like this goes down. I feel like I never really promote my Instagram other than just like putting it in the description and on my end screen, so that's my promotion. Please go follow me. I'm pretty active on stories over there, and we always have a good time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. We've got videos coming every Saturday and Tuesday in April, and outside of that, always at least every Saturday. I think I'm gonna go contemplate the meaning of life some more, because I am really not sure. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one.